Welcome to Retro Crazy. Wasn't expecting to be doing this today, however, this is an eBay purchase, which I actually got so my daughter and I can play, two-player at once, because I only had one controller. Sold to me as fully functioning, and it works, don't get me wrong, it does. However, everything is full range, full motion, nice, except you can hear the click there. Nothing, not a thing. Pressing it will actually get it to register, but that is not correct. Plus I thought, well, maybe we want to do something to show my daughter that it's hers. So while we're at it, I've got a kit. Now I'm not going to change everything. We just want a subtle change. However, we've got hopefully a replacement shoulder button for that. I am going to replace the top. I think that's maybe enough. I'm not sure I want to go the full hog with pink buttons, but we'll see. And if I feel brave enough, we have replacement LEDs for the actual power button to move it away from white, and these ones are pink. So we'll see how brave I feel. So let's temporarily just get rid of all of this and move on to disassembly. Now I know there's loads of people have done this. Shout out to my mate Vince. He's been the inspiration behind me wanting to do a lot of this. I do have the skills, I just need to actually put them into practice. It's been a long time. Okay, so that cover off, already taken the batteries out, and I'm just going to get my nails in because these should pop. You hear the clicking, and oh, right, okay, yeah, I don't know if you can see that on camera, it's absolutely disgusting. Oh, I should also say this is a temporary setup here, where I actually want to do all my videoing is not currently finished. This is going to need a full clean-up though. Okay, we should have one. Not wanting to drop out. And these are security Torx, so they do have a centre pin. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the what I believe should be the final one is tucked away underneath. Oh no, they've all popped out, but I've only got 3. Excellent. Oh, there we go. 4. Final one should be underneath this sticker. Now, would be nice to retain the sticker if I can. If I can't, well, that's just one of those things. Let's see if we can get under it with this spudger. And here it comes. If I take it slowly, I should hopefully not destroy it. because I'm all about repurposing or repairing. I'd rather keep it as original as possible. Now I can actually feel the two halves separating. Should also point out I've never taken one of these apart before, so yeah, this is going to be fun. Top comes off. Yeah, that's definitely getting a clean before this gets put back together. Let's just move the plastics to the side. You can see the hats and everything else. The switches are there. And there's the bottom out. Yeah, going to need a clean. Obviously I'm going to take anything out the way that needs to. Again, put that to the side. And the main circuit board. Okay. Clearly hear the click and nothing this side. Now it does actually come out further, whereas that is at full extension. I am suspecting the switch itself has failed, which is why I got a replacement switch. Now to split the two halves of the board. We've got 2 screws on this lower. And again, they are Torx. One. 2. And again, it's still quite firm. I did say I haven't taken one of these apart before. You'll have to bear with me while I do all this, because it's all new. Top framework, maybe. This is where I maybe should have paid more attention to the disassembly videos by my mate Vince. He's the main one I've been following. There are a number. Retro Future, TronicsFix. There we go. And there's the switch there. We can see no click at all from there. That was me pressing against that one, nothing. This one, movement. So definitely that switch that seems to be at fault. So I need into that particular one. I'm just going to lift off the plastics. These I believe just pull. So 1, 2. Flip her back over. Apologies, I know a number of you will be screaming now saying, it's there, like Panto, it's behind you. But this is all new to me. If you don't mind, I will take it slowly, step by step, and try and work it out. I mean, it literally could be that it's now free and just needs lifted up out the way. Which it does. I probably should desolder the motors at this point. definitely getting in the way. Excuse me. So how do you remove these? Looks like they just pop off. One. Well, if I break one, I know for a fact I'm using the pink ones. There's one. That one does appear to be grab either side and just lift them up off of the pivots. He says. Has to be an easier way. It's technique, I think. That's out. And that is off, and there's now what looks like enough wiggle room for that to come free. So I will apologise in advance because my desoldering station does have smoke absorption, so it will make a little bit of noise. So first off, just to make life a little bit easier, I know I'm using a Q-tip or cotton bud to put the flux on, but just to give it that little bit extra. Defeated by a lot. Okay. One, two. Three. Four. That should then give me enough to flip that board out of the way. That board is fine, there's nothing wrong with it. This is the board I need to get to. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws again by the looks of it. So 1, 6 screws actually, missed one. 2, 3. Now consider this is the first time I'm doing this. There's nothing really difficult. I am not an electronic engineer or anything by trade. Yes, I do have a little bit of experience doing electronics and engineering. However, if it's broken and something's not actually working, then what have you got to lose? Genuinely, what have you got to lose? Here we go. We're going to take the membrane off. Basically, the way this works is you've got a number of pads, which you'll see the pattern on, and all you're doing with these is these will create an electrical short when pushed down onto the pad, and that's how the system works. You push down, it creates a short, done. Nothing more. No click. I'll move it closer so you can hear. Clicking. Nothing. So this is the one I need to remove. which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what I'm going to be working on. Move this bottom board out of the way. Now, if I was fully prepared, I would have actually had my board holder so that I could be prepared and ready. Oh, there we go. And here's my replacement, which you can hear click. I want to remove this bad one, replace it with this, and that job is done. Now, as far as the LED upgrade is concerned, there it is right there, this tiny little LED right here. I'm going to try and replace this. Fingers crossed. But first, most importantly, let's get this off. So again, and get a little bit of flux. Just onto the contacts. Cotton buds are not ideal for doing this. This is just what I happen to have to hand. You can obviously leave fibres on whatever you're working on. And if you're about to put a soldering iron onto it, well, they can burn. Not the most pleasant smell in the world. Standard, okay, maybe not standard, but a good quality solder sucker. And all it does is it's a piston and a spring. You're compressing the spring when you press it down until it locks, and you'll see the recess there, and it's just locking behind there. Pressing the button releases it, the spring pushes it out the way. What you're basically doing is pulling the piston back, which has a seal on it, which draws air in through the front. That gives you your vacuum and hopefully allows us to remove the solder. Always add a little bit of solder if you can to larger areas. Purely and simply because it will help the older solder flow. That out of the way. And now, hopefully, removing the old solder. Apologies, I should have zoomed in at this point so that you could have seen what I'm doing. I've got the soldering iron set at 350 for those that are interested, and that's it. I'm simply going to heat and wiggle, try and make sure that this is all done and free. And you hear that as I'm heating and pushing down, I can actually feel it moving through. You can see it's lifted clear. And that's the faulty one out. Right, now trust me, if I can do this, you can do it. You have a faulty controller and it's something as simple as a switch. Well, just replace the switch. I mean, that bag of switches, what's that, 2, 4, so 10. Made in China, came from China. That bag, there's 2 different types, there's the white and the black. I don't really think it makes any difference other than, you know, personal looks internally, which means nothing. Yeah, about £3 from China delivered. No point in living with a dodgy button, it just does not feel right. Now all I did to prep it was actually run the soldering iron over. Yes, I know you're supposed to lift all the solder off, but there's so little solder that running the soldering iron over with what's already been added will simply reflow it. Now, solder sucker at this point is finished, you can put it to the side. And we are ready for reflowing. Now, here's a tip I actually got from bigclivedotcom. So big shout out to Big Clive. You've been another inspiration for me wanting to do this. It's really simple. All you simply have to do is, I put a little bit on just to wet the tip, and then put it on and push the solder onto the point. Right? Done. Simple. I always used to put the solder, a lot of solder onto the iron, and then add a little bit to finish. And Big Clive actually said, well, why are you doing that? Heat up the component with the soldering iron, get it to flow directly on, and I have to say, it generically works quite well. So all I'm going to do is reflow these five. No, these five, these four. Done. That is it. That is the entire fix. It's flush to the board. It's fine. If you're in any doubt, by the way, and you get it a little bit high, right? Once you've got it on, all I'm doing is pushing down, right? Push down, heat the solder until it flows, and what will happen is, apart from the metal getting hot, it'll actually push it down flush. And then when the solder cools, you get your new joint and much tighter. Now, if everything is right, we should get a click. Now both click. Okay, admittedly this one is now a little bit louder, but they both click. The LED. Now, these are surface mount. The LED, I'm going to use the end of the solder because it's reasonably fine. The LED is this tiny little bit here, right? This tiny little thing. That is the LED. So you press the power on, or the Microsoft button, whatever you want to call it. It pushes down, makes a contact, power runs through, it lights up, it flashes, it does all its thing. That is it. So it's a surface mount chip, or a surface mount component, should I say. So yeah, how do you know which is positive and negative? Well, you'll probably find on the board, and I believe there is, a tiny little positive symbol. However, if you get your multimeter, and admittedly this is not the most expensive thing in the world, but it does do the job. I'm going on to continuity with audio, and now when you get continuity, don't know if you can hear that, you get a very little beep. Very pretty. However, for continuity to be tested, you normally find that it actually runs a little bit of current through to get everything to work. Now, I don't know if you can see that. I do not know if you can see that. In fact, give me a second. I'm going to switch all the lights out. Maybe you'll pick it up a bit better. Sorry for the vibration on the camera there. However, if you can see that now, it actually lights up. And that shows you clearly which side is which. So positive is on the left on these. Now, as far as the surface mount chips are concerned, let's have a quick check. So here's the surface mount chips. Hoping I can test them the same way on the card. And at the moment, oh, so I will need to pop one off. Sorry, I've still got the lights off. I will pop the lights back on in a second once I've got one of these out. Hopefully, once I've got one of these out. I think they go from the front out the back, so carefully peel the backing and without losing it. I think that's it. Let me pop the lights on so I can see what I'm doing. I've actually managed to knock 2 of them out, and I can tell, as long as that focuses, because you'll see 3 white dots and then 2 black, and I've actually managed to knock 2 of them out. Excellent. I now have 2 LEDs and they are tiny. And I don't know if you can see that light up. These were supposed to be pink, and it's kind of looking more red. Yeah, they actually look a lot smaller than the original. And I think my hot air would blow that clean away. Well, this is going to be interesting. One moment, please. Remembered I had to zoom out. I don't currently have my monitor set up, so I can't actually see when I'm recording. So apologies if any of that was not actually on screen. However, we now have some screws to get back into place. By the way, if you go to screw a screw in and it doesn't feel right, you'll know what I mean. These are already pre-cut for thread hole. If it suddenly just feels very tight and not quite right, don't keep tightening. Normally you'll find that there are 2 positions the screw can go in 180 degrees out. Keep a little bit of pressure on and unscrew until you feel the screw click and drop back in. That's normally your indicator that you're now in the right hole. Which is exactly what I did. See, that doesn't feel right. And now that turned and clipped in, or clicked in to the right hole. A lot of the time, as you'll see, it just drops in first time, which is an advantage. And the final screw for the upper board. Okay, so if you remember, I desoldered that and just lifted the board over. So I am just going to carefully flip the board back into place where it should be, and then if everything lines up, everything should just push back down into place, assuming I've not forgotten anything. And I need the next screws, which are the same size. Now, it's always worth making sure when you've got wires next to screws, you do not crush the wire. I have seen too many Chinese products where on assembly a wire's been crushed, and it may work for a while, but that wire is a weak point, and that is never, never, never good. Right, so next up is resoldering the wires back in place. Because this controller is working really well, I could clean up the pads, lift off all the solder, but I'm not going to. I am just simply going to add some flux to both points. Now, I do actually have to apologise. One thing I did forget to do was to clean up the lower circuit board on the opposite side before I fitted it. I can still get to the upper surface because it's right here, but I didn't actually clean up the flux off of the LED. So yeah, that was my bad. Quick check, make sure these are all good. They're not the prettiest, those ones are fine. One is fine. Not the prettiest, but it is held. Right, clean up. Clean up is really simple. Isopropyl alcohol, 99.9% pure, and this does not affect your circuit board at all, so do not worry about that. Just my squeegee bottle has developed a leak, and then just clean it up. And don't worry about the wires. The reason you don't worry about the wires is if you haven't done a good enough solder joint, it will break, and it's better it breaks now while you're in the position to actually work on it than once you've already got it all back together. It'll also evaporate naturally, so do not worry about what's left on the board. That is it. It's now a case of clipping everything on, so I will pause here while I reassemble. Can you guess how I decided to rebuild it? No. There we go. All back together. Everything doing what it should. And more importantly, clicking away merrily. Obviously I'm not going to show any of the login details if I can. However, it's now on. It's on. And just show it doesn't matter. Okay. Everything clicking. You can hear in the background. All directions. All working fine. That is it. Excellent. Everything working exactly as it should be. I hope some of this was at least semi-useful to you. I am not, as I've already said, a professional. I'm doing this to keep the tech alive and to save money. Let's face it, we live in a disposable age where people just throw things away. Somebody probably would have chucked that on eBay and punted it off cheap. Now a fully functional customized controller, and I'm sure my daughter will be happy. Cheers! This is my daughter hiding in the corner, and a friend hiding around the corner. And yeah, here we go. So, end of the video, I decided to cover this. Yes, I know, the room's a bit of a mess. We're about to have it decorated.
Why are you doing this, Daddy?
Well, because I thought you would like your new controller.
Yeah!
Right? Okay, pop your bear down. Oh, my goodness, you've been brushing your other bears. Right, pop your bear down. Close your eyes. Put your hands out. Keep them closed. Keep them closed. Okay, open your eyes. Now, switch it on. Try pressing the button. Will that do? Will we be able to tell it's yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Have fun. Say bye, everyone.